Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for an episode of Spoiler Alert. This episode 32. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Basically, what I do is we talk about it's open format on this one. So, talk about anything movie related, TV related, as long as it's out in the public, no sneak previews or anything like that. Um, that's pretty much what it's going to be on this one. And I changed the format a little bit. You notice that my camera is a little higher now than I am, so it gives you a view of the background a bit more, so that you know you can see what's going on back here. So, um, so welcome everybody. Again, like I said, there are going to be spoilers in this, so you know uh, you've been warned at this point, and I'm going to go over probably some news stuff too here and there, genre news, since I haven't gone over that in a while either. Um, First and foremost, I'm going to go over so I saw Aquaman 2. I know I didn't do a review of it or anything like that. Wasn't a fan of it. It was better than the first movie, not by much. The only thing that ruined it for me was Jason Momoa. I have to say this much. Yeah, he brought too much of the bro stuff into it, and was too much of himself, I guess you could say, into the character, and that kind of ruined it for me. I'm not sorry to see this whole DC universe being revamped by James Gunn. Uh, he is just as weird of a fanboy on DC stuff as I am. So he knows who Batmite is, who is right there. There we go. And of course he put in King Shark and Weasel, things like that, and the Suicide Squad. So yeah, I'm okay with what he's gonna be doing, switching that stuff up. So I'm good with that. Um what else has been out there? Uh Percy Jackson and the Olympians, that was on Disney Plus, that premiered December 20th. I watched that whole series, the first season on Disney Plus, and good series, a really good series. I've never read the books because, of course, I'm way beyond tween age and all that kind of stuff. I saw the first movie, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I believe, or the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief is what it was. It was okay, but this series was actually better, darker than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly. The series, and I like where it's going, quite honestly. They did a good job. Again, so the thing with kid actors in Hollywood today is they tend to overact, because that's what Hollywood casting agents are looking for. They're looking for kids that are going to, I guess you could say, just overreact to things, to exaggerate things, and they come off kind of feeling, you know, I guess you could say, more not real. And that's kind of the main character in this one. He kind of overacts a little bit. They kind of all do, all three of them, the three characters that are going along on this journey. And that's the only drawback for me on this series, is I'm hoping that with more acting time and more acting lessons, that that doesn't happen this time around, for season 2. But the storyline was good. Um, and again, like I said, it's Disney money, so they did well with the special effects and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of cameos of people coming in, so that was a good thing too. So really good stuff from that. If you haven't seen it, go and take a look at it. It's actually it's fairly well done. Um, trying to see what else. Oh yeah, season 2 of What If was also on Disney Plus on December 22nd. Basically, they released an episode a day, and of course, I like the first one. So obviously, the second season was good as well. The Happy Hogan Christmas episode, the Die Hard episode, was probably one of my favorites, even though it was, just absolutely fucking ridiculous. But I loved it. It actually did a good job, and I'm looking forward to more of What If. The animated What If series is great. They actually are, threading some stories through the seasons, especially with Captain Britain, Peggy Carter's character, uh, who of course also made her live action debut in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that was awesome too. But yeah, I dug the character. I mean, the character is good. Um, they did a great job at the very end there of season 2, where she ends up, the Watcher's going to take her home to her reality, and instead she's like, well, why don't we take the scenic route? And so we don't know what's going to happen with this here. So yeah, and of course we got to see the evil Doctor Strange again too, which was always pleasant to see. I kind of hope they move beyond the evil Doctor Strange, and I hope they move beyond the threats to the multiverse. Quite honestly, in the animated series, I'm more interested in seeing the different takes on these different universes. That's what If was all about. What If was more about what if this happened? What if that happened in the Marvel universe, and showing all these different universes where that did happen, where that path was taken. They did introduce a new character in one of the episodes, Native American character. Really good episode. And actually, that tied into, if you haven't seen it, Ekko. So, Ekko, which is a spinoff of the Daredevil series. Well, actually, it was a spinoff of Hawkeye. I take that back. It was a spinoff of the Hawkeye series. But Ekko actually brings in a little bit of that lore of the animated What If character from season 2 as well. And I'm blanking on her name all of a sudden, but yeah, it was. I like the way they did that. That was kind of nice, where you had the new animated character that is actually already accepted into the MCU and kind of rolling with it, but not having. You don't have to watch everything in order to get it. That's the whole thing. But it does add to the people who do watch everything, like me, um, to whatever you're watching there out there in the series. So I know that I got 3 lurkers out there. Anybody watching anything interesting that they are liking at the moment, genre wise or whatever? Um, Let me see what else I have here. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we already talked about Star Wars: The Bad Batch. Actually, if you go and take a look at my, I'm following Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So season 3, the final season, is actually starting already. So we got that going on. There's been stuff on Netflix. I'm trying to find what else has been out there. There's been so much that, I mean, I last broadcast in mid-November, and then of course just this last week here I came back. So there's been some stuff that you know I've missed along the way. So there you go. You know. Um oh, where are we here? I got nothing there. So what were we looking at? Movies. Godzilla minus one. I did see Godzilla minus one. Great movie. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. Um, the theater that I saw it in has something called Screen X. So Screen X, what they do is they take certain scenes in the movie and they project them on the sides of the theater wall as well. So not just the screen, but also on the side. So you get this panoramic view. And for Godzilla minus one, it works beautifully, especially when Godzilla is coming towards cities and you have uh, he's attacking large, like a large town or the Navy or something like that, and you get the panoramic view. And also, the story is just really kind of fucking heartbreaking for the most part. I mean, it's a country dealing with the aftermaths of a war, a major war, of course. And then also, on top of this, to add insult to injury, they are getting attacked by this force of nature, which they didn't even really create to begin with. So it was a result of atomic weapons, of course. And Yeah, really good, really well done movie. And I heard that they released it again in black and white. Interested in seeing that in black and white to see how that holds up. And then again, I've seen the original Godzilla movie, the one without Raymond Burr interspersed into it. So the American version of the original Godzilla movie has Raymond Burr peppered throughout the fucking movie, and it takes out the gravitas of the movie, if you will. And again, that movie again was about the whole thing about a country coming back after being decimated by war is really what it was. And um, yes, they were on the wrong side of everything, and they were, uh, but you get some of the people that, of course, that weren't uh, uh, for that war also got decimated in this as well. So that's really what that was all about. And the original 1950s version of Godzilla, the Japanese version, is just as powerful. And Godzilla minus one kind of mirrors that as well. It doesn't kind of, it does mirror that. And I highly recommend to watch it. You watch it if you haven't seen it. Really well worth it. Really well worth your time on that. Didn't see Silent Night. I wanted to with Joel Kinnaman. Just haven't had the time to. Looking what else? Other movies, of course. Oh, that's all I had there. So, what else do I got here? The Beekeeper. So I saw the Beekeeper as well. I watched that when it came out on streaming, and I rented it. And yeah, it's just your typical shoot 'em up action movie. It's kind of funny. The person who wrote it, Kurt Wimmer is his name, is the guy who wrote and directed Equilibrium with Christian Bale, and he also did Ultraviolet with Mila Jovovich. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ultraviolet was the reason why he doesn't direct anymore. But it looked like he was back to writing, and he's the one who wrote the Beekeeper, which is just a ridiculous fucking movie. It's just over the top action. Speaking of which, I'm actually looking forward to over the top action. I saw the trailer this morning for Boy Kills World, Bill Skarsgård's movie that he's going to be in, and holy fuck, that looks just ridiculously over the top. Sam Raimi's the producer of that movie. Um, yeah, it just looks really over the top, and I'll be there for that one. I'll put the trailer up on my Facebook page at some point in time. I'm going to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender tomorrow night, so I'm not going to talk about it here right now, just because I'm doing it. Is it worth my time? So I'll cover it there. So I don't want to talk about it too much here. I did also watch on Netflix House of Ninjas. I'm actually still in the middle of that. It's okay. The Mr. and Mrs. Smith series on Amazon Prime with Donald Glover sucks balls. I'll say that right now. I've never seen so much fucking navel gazing in a series. I remember there was movies like this in the 90s as well, where Singles is actually a great example of this, where people take one little minutia of something and they talk it to fucking death. And that's really what Mr. and Mrs. Smith is. It's this couple, these two people that have been kind of they sign up for a government agency that they don't even know who the government agency really, or if it's a government agency or not, just it's an agency. They've both been kicked out of various agencies, either the FBI or the CIA, and they join up for this other thing where they are kind of forced to become a married couple. They go through a questionnaire and then they get paired up, and they're supposed to go on missions. So they both know they're spies, contrary to the original movie premise on all of this. And yeah, it's just this naval. I mean, Oh my god, it's just annoyingly navel gazing. The conversations that they were having in between the action sequences, and the action sequences, the first like four, I think 3 episodes, come like for 3 minutes in the episode. The rest is just navel gazing bullshit. And then you start getting more action sequences in the later episodes. I haven't finished it just because I couldn't do it. There is a great cameo by Parker Posey in this. They play another version of the Smiths, her and another actor. I can't remember his name now. Um, Ron Perlman also makes a cameo in one of the episodes as well. Um, things like that. That's about, I mean, when you know the cameos are better than you know, your main characters and are more interesting than your main characters, that's where you have a problem. Yeah, it's just a really shitty series. I haven't been able to finish it. So, yeah. Nobody in the chat, huh? Nobody at all? I'm going to test it out. There it is. It's testing. So, all right. Hey, CBM. There is somebody there. I wasn't sure. I saw people in the, that are floating around, but I haven't seen anybody yet post anything. March 14th, the rest of season 2 of Invincible is going to be on Amazon Prime. The week before, I'm actually going to finish off episode 4. Basically in my review of it. I know I've already watched it, and that was kind of where I left off. Episode 3 was where I left off, and then of course episode 4 is where I need to continue with you. It's a good series. I mean, I like Invincible. It's just I don't like these long breaks in between. I wasn't dead, CBM. Sorry. Yeah, so the whole thing that happened was explaining my absence about what happened there. So a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work to the point where I couldn't do both at the same time. And then the beginning of December, my coworker gave me a really lovely little cold that fucking went on for about a month, and my voice was completely shot. I was on antibiotics at one point too. I've had pneumonia before, so I had to be on antibiotics just so I didn't have a repeat of that. And so that brought me into the holidays, of course, at that point. Um, Went through the whole holiday thing, and then went back to work, and work was just like, even more stuff. I had 2 big projects that I was working on, I couldn't get away from. And then finally, I've had a little bit of a break. So I'm trying to, trying to get back into the swing of things. Yeah. Um, yeah, December was kind of a bad month. I mean, I had almost the entire month of December off because of work, but I had 3 weeks off. I took vacation time too, along with some of the work. We shut down for about 2 weeks at work, so that's the nice thing about it. Oh, what else do we have here? So the Mandalorian and Grogu, which is a movie, is going to start filming later on this year with Jon Favreau directing. Uh, I just saw something news-wise saying that they're getting a fraction of the money that the Last Skywalker got in order to do this, which is understandable. The Last Skywalker crashed and burned. And Disney right now they're kind of scrambling to have a hit after the Marvel movies have the Marvels didn't do well. Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania didn't do well. Um, the last couple of Marvel movies haven't done well, and the last Star Wars movies haven't done well. So of course, in order as an answer to the shareholders, that's what Bob Iger is doing, is he's pulling back um, the money on all of that. So That's what business is all about, unfortunately. But I still think Favreau can make it work. Favreau is used to working on a shoestring budget. We also got that season 6 will be the last season of what we will do, what we do in the shadows. I'm disappointed in that, but at the same time, I can see them going out on a bang like that. They are at the top of their game at this point, and yeah, the Wish movie was mostly disliked as well. I understand CBM. Yeah, their animated fare hasn't been very good. Their live action fare hasn't been very good. So it's just been they need to do better with the writers is what has to happen here. Um and I know that it doesn't help that Sony keeps pumping out shit like Madam Web. Um So basically, they're trying to hold on to the Spider-Man franchise. Is what's going to happen. That's why Sony is going to be pumping out shit like Venom 3, Madam Web, Craven the Hunter. I believe is the next one that comes out in August, if I'm not mistaken. Things of that nature, and all just so they can hang on to the Spider-Man name. You know. Oh, I know what I forgot to cover. Blue-Eyed Samurai. So, Blue-Eyed Samurai is an animated series on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. It is probably one of the best animated series I've seen in a long time. Season 1 is up. Um, Season 2 has been greenlit. The animation's beautiful. The story is beautiful. Episode 5 for me is the one that they're telling 3 stories at the same time, but they all intersect at the end. Masterfully done. That is the way you do storytelling. I mean, Blue-Eyed Samurai is easily the best thing you'll see out there. That was the best thing I saw last year. Um, so yeah, that is one of those really great. And if you want to know what Blue-Eyed Samurai is about, it's a uh, 17th century. Japan has basically outlawed outsiders from coming in, foreigners, white people from coming in, and with good reason. And there are 4 foreigners, 4 white people that are still kind of allowed in to do business, if you will. And there is a what would be called a half breed at that point, right? It was um, a samurai with blue eyes because their father is a white guy, and they're being treated as a devil, a demon. And we go through this whole story of this person looking for revenge, looking for that father, basically to kill them. And you find out along the way. It's fairly early on, and again, the spoiler alert. So I'm going to be spoiling things. That it's a woman, and a woman never learns how to become a samurai. Uh, they weren't typically taught this, but yeah, it's a great series. I mean, just absolutely brilliant series. Um, Go and watch it. It's just the story is rich, the animation's awesome, the characters are well done, everything's just well thought out in that. And that's the way you do storytelling. That's the best storytelling you can get. A great example of storytelling is Blue Eyed Samurai. Madam Web has a lot. CBM says Madam Web has a lot to offer. I didn't watch it, but the negative reviews were hilarious. Yeah, I just didn't want to do a hate review of it, quite honestly. I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I like the Spider-Man periphery characters. And after Morbius, I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to go and watch it. I'll watch it when it streams at some point in time, but I can't go and pay money in the theater to support it. I mean, especially knowing that that money is going into Avery Arred's pocket and Amy Pascal's pocket too. Oh yeah, just can't do that. So. Um, So we have Godzilla versus Kong, or Godzilla times Kong, I guess what it's called. The New Empire is coming out in April. Saw the trailer for that. Okay. Honestly, um, if you watch Godzilla -1, you can see all the shit that the new King Kong versus Godzilla movies are missing. Heart, story, uh yeah, it's missing a lot of stuff. The American version of this is missing what the Japanese, and it always has missed. The American versions of these things have always missed what the Japanese versions have, which is story and heart to them. So I'm still going to go and see it in the theater. It's just one of those mindless things where I just take my mind out. I leave it in the car, hopefully locked up with the, so it doesn't get stolen, and then go and watch it and come on back. Yeah. But, ugh. But anyway. We also got word that The Boys is going to be coming back. Season 4 is going to be returning June 13th with the first 3 episodes. It's only going to be an 8 episodes season, but they're going to drop the first 3 episodes, and then it's going to be 1 a week after that. So I will be covering, of course. So I'll be covering all of that as well. And then also August 9th. I don't know if anyone saw the Borderlands trailer. It's got a lot of fucking people in it. It really does. And I'm looking forward to it, quite honestly. It looks fun. It's violent. It's mindless. It's fun. I didn't play the video game, so I don't know if it's video game, appropriate, if it matches the video game or anything like that. I honestly don't care. I'm sorry for those of you out there who do. It just looks like it's a lot of fun. So that's pretty much what I'm going to go and watch it for, is because it's fun. So yeah, I mean, unless you really bastardize something to the point where it's unrecognizable from the original, if you're adapting something and you basically change it out completely, like for example, what was that Brad Pitt movie that he did about the zombies? Fuck, I can't remember what it was called now. But that was completely bastardized from the original work and took away from it. So Max Brooks wrote the original book, and I got it someplace up here, which I'm not gonna be able to find anyway. But yeah. So World War Z, there we go. Now it came to mind. World War Z. World War Z was a fucking horrible, horrible adaptation of a great book and had nothing to do at all with the book. So unless you're bastardizing it to that extent, yeah, you should expect liberties to be taken with either an animated project or going from animation to live action animation, etc. So it does happen sometimes in order to make the story flow a little bit better. It happens with comics to live action too. The boys changed out a lot of really questionable things from the comics to make it a little more palatable for the live action stuff. If you haven't read the original Boys, oh boy, you're in for a treat, and also for some emotional scarring as well. So there you have it. What else do I have here? I'm looking at movies here. What came out? I can't remember what came out altogether. Yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was re-released in January. I have it on DVD, so I'm not going to go and watch it again. Oh, that's the other thing that's been happening too, is there's been a lot of stories out there about not being able to find certain movies, certain TV series, all that kind of stuff, because people are doing the Zasloff Effect. The David Zasloff, that asshole from Warner Brothers, who basically they cancel out or remove entirely either a series or movies from distribution, from any kind of streaming distribution, so they don't have to pay the royalty rights to the creators, the actors, etc. And you can't find it anywhere. So physical media still makes sense to have physical media. I have DVDs in the other room over there. And I buy DVDs of the things that I actually like still. And the reason for this is exactly this reason. If you're buying the digital copy can disappear. You don't own that. That disappears anytime they want to. They can actually just they can delete it out of your, out of your digital library. And you won't be none the wiser unless if you have a whole couple of hundred of those on all that. So yeah, it's a big deal going on right now. A lot of people are talking about it. So CBM says, I feel like they've done some great stuff in making things better adapted than before. Yes, they have. And the reason for this is CGI. CGI has come a long way. It's made things a lot more palatable. Also, you have that dome that Disney, Warner Brothers, all those guys are using that the Mandalorian, pioneered to make live action filming within a believable universe a lot more, for one, cheaper, and then two, a lot more believable. And by the way, I was going to ask, what do people feel about this camera setup that I've got going on here? Is this better or is this worse than I felt the other one was just too low, is what was going on. So I put the camera a little higher, but now I've got to look up all the time. So the volume, thank you, CBM. Yes, it's called the volume. And there's two of them. There is one in Florida and one in LA, if I remember correctly. I can't remember which one's bigger. I think the one in LA is bigger. And I think they're building one in Vancouver as well. I mean, it makes sense. A lot of shit's filmed in Vancouver. So, yeah. Looking here. What else do we have here? Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Violent Nights on Peacock. I didn't know that. I have to go and check that out. That was the movie I was just oh no, Silent Night is the one. But yeah. Violent Night was the movie with Santa, the Die Hard movie with Santa. So yeah. You know what, Raymond? I saw the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Halo on Pluto TV. So I saw it for free, and I was like, "Good God, this is shitty." Just because the camera work. I have not seen season 1, by the way. I haven't seen season 1 at all. I just kind of jumped in. I saw it was on Pluto TV for free, the first 2 episodes of season 2, and I was like, I could watch it. Honestly, I got into the story already. I already know what it is. I didn't have to, have any backtrack on it because it's that simple. And the acting's bad, and the camera work is the most atrocious fucking camera work I've ever seen. I can see why people are hating on it. So, yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, Halo is bad, just extremely bad. And again, I haven't played the video game on that one. I take that back. I think I played like 5 minutes of it at one point. It might have been in a Best Buy or something like that. But I was like, okay, I got killed. I suck at video games, just so you know. Yeah, I really suck at video games. I don't play online games for the most part because honestly, I don't feel like dying every 30 seconds or every 3 seconds as it is with much more skilled players than I am. So yeah, I don't bother with it. I am playing, however, I'll say this right now. I did have Guardians of the Galaxy. I played that a little bit, and then I fucked up on my choices, so I would have to go back and start over again at some point. So I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. What is it? Baldur's Gate 3. Started playing that. I think I've talked about that as well here. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 at one point and got about 4 hours into this one campaign, and then the server fucked up and didn't save my progress, and I'd have to go back again. And I was kind of like, fuck it, haven't done that. Spider-Man 2, I played that quite a bit because I got that for Christmas, and that I was enjoying quite a bit. And then, of course, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I've got that. And I'm finding that I'm on just walk in the park, like the easiest level, and I'm getting my ass handed to me left and right. I'm trying to figure out where the big fucking power upgrades are, because honestly, there are no big fucking power upgrades. And like right now, they're telling me, oh, yeah, you can't fight the Flash and you can't fight Green Lantern, of course, because you're going to get slaughtered. It's way beyond your league. So, yeah. Raven says the video game of Guardians of the Galaxy is better than the movies. And I don't know. I find it kind of tedious. How do I like the story of Suicide Squad? Is there a story really? I mean, it's an Elseworlds is really what it is. It's okay. I mean, see, I don't take these things as seriously as everyone else does. I know it's an Elseworld. I know it has nothing to do with the DC universe whatsoever, like the main DC universe. So like right now, James Gunn posted a on Twitter, the Superman comes Kingdom Come S, right? And people are freaking the fuck out on that right now. And they don't know what the story is for Superman Legacy. This is what he did. So they really don't know what the story is yet. No one does. And people are freaking the fuck out about this. I'm just like, let him tell his fucking story. If he's going to bring Kingdom Come into it, I'm all for it. But most likely it's going to be like a glimpse into the future or something like that. No, Kevin Conroy was not the Batman in that one, in Suicide Squad. Not that I'm aware of. Because it sounds different. I mean, it sounds completely different. Let's see who voices Batman in Kill the Justice League. And I'm looking at it right now. Oh, Jason Isaacs played Brainiac in it. Oh, okay. Kevin Conroy does voice the Batman in it. It doesn't sound like him. That's the funny thing about it is, yeah, it doesn't sound like him at all. Quite honestly, it's a weird sounding. I know he's supposed to be taken over by Brainiac and everything, but it just doesn't sound like him. And the whole thing, people are freaked. You know, the whole thing that people are up in arms about is that Batman is killing people and Kill the Justice League. He's taken over by Brainiac. Flash. I mean, fuck. You see Flash kill Lex Luthor. He rips Lex Luthor's heart out. So, I mean, that right there, you see that on screen. So yeah, it's a different world. It's an Elseworlds kind of thing. It's like Superman killing the Joker, you know, after Joker killed Lois Lane in Injustice. It's a different world. It's a, you know, all these kind of things. And I don't know if people just aren't getting that. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't sound like Kevin Conroy. It's kind of funny every time I hear, because he's talking all the time over the comms as you're playing, and it's the same universe as the Arkham series. Eh. Well, then the Arkham series probably isn't part of the DC universe. I don't know. So, yeah. I mean, the gameplay's fine. It's really fucking hard. I mean, just really, really super fucking hard. And I say this as someone who is, I'm not anywhere near moderate as a video game player. I'm still, you know, on the low end of the spectrum of video game playing, and yeah, I'm just getting my ass handed to me left and right. I mean, I'm completing missions, but I'm getting bronze every time I go through those missions. No, we talked about that earlier, Raymond. I'm not going to go and see that. I'm not wasting money on that shit. Let's see here. Wait, is this 2023 or is this? I don't know. Okay, it's 2024. I didn't realize that Extraordinary. There's a season 2 that's coming out of that on Hulu. It came out January 25th. I'm gonna have to go and take a look. So Extraordinary is this series on Hulu about people who have superpowers. Everyone has superpowers, and there's a few people that just don't get superpowers, and very, very few. And they follow this one woman who doesn't, and it's actually a good series. I liked it a lot. It's Scottish, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the series. And I saw the first season. I really liked the first season, and I was kind of resigned to the fact that it probably wasn't going to get a second season, but it looks like it did. So I'm gonna have to go and check that out. It was released. Okay, good. What's my most anticipated media release of 2024? Oh, that's a good question. Let me see here, Raymond. I'm going to go back to suspended Fanimation. And I'm looking right now. So if you look at over at Suspended Fanimation, or if you just go to suspendedfanimation.com, I have like the future list of what's coming up. And so I put a lot of shit in there this time around. X-Men 97 is fun. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but it'll be fun. One of the weirder ones, Sasquatch Sunset, which is coming to theaters, has Jesse Eisenberg in it, and it's about a family of Sasquatch. It comes out in April. That just looks so fucking weird that I'm kind of into that. I want to go and see it. To tell you the truth. Oh, you know what? I know what my most anticipated movie of the year is. It's going to be Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I saw the trailer for that thing and I was like, holy fuck. I could live off if George Miller produced shit once a year, I could live off of that easily. George Miller to me is the pinnacle of pretty much everything, movie storytelling wise, editing, you name it, that he gave his wife, who had never edited before, Fury Road, and said, "Here, go for it," and won a fucking Oscar. She won an Oscar for it. That shows you right there. I mean, yeah. I think it takes place in England, but she's Irish. Yes, CPM, correct. I thought she was Scottish, but maybe she was Irish. It's been a while. But yeah, Furiosa is definitely at the top of my list. Deadpool and Wolverine is a close second. That just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and that they're bringing the TVA into all of that. That anybody who hasn't watched Loki, seasons 1 and 2, is going to go, "What the fuck is a TVA?" Most likely, Deadpool's going to explain it in the way he normally does, where he talks to the audience and kind of holds their hand and runs them through it. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Am I going to go see Dune 2? Fuck, probably not. It's what is it? 3 hours long, 4 hours long, something like that. And the first movie put me to sleep, and I saw that at home because remember they were doing the same day release. They did the same day release on both Max and theaters, and I think it took me like 3 tries to get through that first part of Dune, and I was just like, I was just dropping out. I don't like his directing. His directing is fucking boring. He did Blade Runner 2049 and The Arrival. The Arrival, I swear to God, I figured that one out in the first 10 minutes of it. And I was like, so when are you going to get to it? 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 And it just kind of dragging out. And Blade Runner 2049, the less said about that piece of shit, the better. Yeah, Dune to me, yeah. But then again, I'm not the I don't have a hard on for Herbert that a lot of people do, quite honestly. The books, it just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't something I was into. So, yeah, I mean, people that like it, that's great. I mean, it's your jam. That's what you're going for. Perfect. And again, like I've said, if you like something that other people don't like, not everyone has to like the same thing, for God's sakes. There is stuff that I'm going to find that shit that, you like, and there's stuff that you're going to find that shit that I like. So, I mean, it just all depends on, your own preferences, quite honestly. Like I said, Raymond, to each their own. For me, he puts me to fucking sleep, like totally to sleep. Yeah, he just, oh man. Um, Borderlands looks really fun, by the way. It really does. Oh, I'm looking forward to Crawley Holly's version of Alien, the one that's going to be coming to Hulu. That one I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. So that's my other TV series that I'm looking forward to for 2024. I think it's coming out in 2024 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's yeah, there's stuff out there that there's stuff that's better than others for me out there. Looking what else was out that came out that I didn't get to cover. And no, I'm not seeing anything else. Oh, I did make it through Only Murders in the Building. I did finally get around to watching that series. It's a fun series, but it really peters out by the third season. It's just like, ugh. I mean, and they know it too, so they're kind of riffing off of it about how which is also funny in its own right, but still, yeah, I really don't need to. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I watched the Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. I don't think I did. The animated series, HBO Max. It came out on February 9th, and I completely forgot about it. So I might need to go back and take a look at that. I probably did watch it, and then I forgot all about it. There's a lot of stuff I come in when I come home. I kind of turn on the TV and just kind of, you know, do that. I've been watching a lot of Pluto TV. It's free streaming stuff, and they have the classic Western channels, and so they have the old Wild Wild West series on there, and I'll pop that on and just let it run because I'll do back to back episodes. Same thing with Star Trek, the original series, the ones with the new special effects in there, and so I'll pop that on and let that run. I moved back in July, Raymond. So this is I just moved the camera a little bit. So the camera used to be down here, looking up at me almost in a way, and then I kind of got tired of that. So I've now switched out to a different camera, put it on top of my big screen up here, and have moved up there. Have I seen the trailer for Netflix, The Gentleman? I haven't, Joe. I do want to go and take a look at that because I know that it's the former Mr. Madonna, Guy Ritchie, and I like Guy Ritchie stuff. Quite honestly, I'm one of those few people that actually does like the Guy Ritchie movies and things like that. Oh, I did see Argyle. Oh my god, Argyle was such a big piece of shit. It really was. It was long and it was just shitty. And I'm a Matthew Vaughn fan too, and good God, no, that was bad. Um, yeah, I saw that in the theater, and I was very, very regretful about that one. CBM said I enjoyed the musical aspect of the third season and felt that I actually understood why people like Meryl Streep. Yeah. Sam Rockwell was good to some extent. in the very beginning, and then by the end, he just became annoying like the rest of the characters. Yeah, he really did. Even Samuel L. Jackson was kind of he was there just to be there. There's a lot of cameos in that movie too, and not good cameos either. It really wasn't. I mean, Bryan Cranston is the villain, and then the twist upon twist upon twist upon twist upon twist that got fucking annoying real quick. I mean, literally, there was a twist, and you have another twist, and you have a twist on the twist, and a twist on the twist, and then a retwist on the twist that just happened a couple twists ago. And I got tired of it at that point. It had more twists than a fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie. What a twist! If you watch the old Robot Chicken, yeah, Robot Chicken used to do that all the time. They'd have an M. Night Shyamalan character come up whenever there was a really stupid ending to something. They go, "What a twist!" Which I found funny, but Wu-Tang, an American Saga, supposedly came out on Hulu on February 15th. Oof. Wow. What else is there? I'm looking to see what else has come out. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else that I know that season 2 of Interview with a Vampire is supposed to be coming out on AMC. I am not going to get AMC for that. I like the first season. I have to admit, the first season was actually really well done, and I'm glad that it was on Max so that I didn't have to deal with commercials or anything like that. Um, oh, you know what I'm watching on Max right now, which isn't genre related at all? It's called Tokyo Vice. So season 1 of Tokyo Vice is really good. So it's taken from the memoirs of this American journalist in the 90s who ended up joining a Tokyo newspaper. And it's really, really hard as a foreigner to become a journalist in a Japanese newspaper in Japan at that time. And he kind of got embroiled in the Yakuza. Um, like he knew a cop that was working on the Yakuza cases, and then he also knew Yakuza guys as well. So he kind of was in that whole realm of things. And it's actually a really good story. And it's got oh god, I can't remember her name now, from Legion. She was his girlfriend in Legion. So she's an American woman working in Japan. She's working in the hosting, one of the hosting clubs, and she's also involved with the whole Yakuza as well, because of course, yeah, Raymond, I talked about it earlier too. Really good movie. What else? Umbrella Academy season 4, the final season is going to be out in August. I honestly, season 3 was kind of a letdown. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to season 4, other than it's going to be over with. And honestly, they've kind of moved away from. And again, this is moving away from the subject matter of what the actual comic was. So yeah, and yes, I talked about that as well, Raymond. You came in really late. I've almost been here for about an hour now. CBM says, I watched Murder at the End of the World in January, which was fun but depressing, and currently watching Death and Other Details with Mandy Patinkin. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've watched a lot of different things. I know that. More so than what I probably remember at this point in time. But a lot of it, like I said, it's been Pluto. I put it on Pluto TV and just let it run. Someone asked me, have I watched the free stuff on Roku channel? Um, I don't like Roku's layout. It's not great, and it's hard to kind of scroll through. I like Pluto TV's. If you take a look off on the left-hand side, their channel guide, they have it broken into segments that are easier. That if you click on that segment, then it just opens up another channel to the right, and you can scroll through that. But then you can always go back to the left side and go through like they'll have an entertainment section, and you go over there and you take a look, and you can scroll through the entertainment section, and then you go back over, and then you go sci-fi. You know, that's just easier than what Roku for some reason just seems discombobulated, and like you have to really hunt for something that you want. And I've had Roku for a while. Yeah, but Pluto TV just for some reason is better. It's got commercials. They all have the free TV stuff. Usually has commercials. But yeah, definitely stay away from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Good God, what a piece of shit. Um, I finally saw the animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the one that everyone was going gaga over. It was good. I mean, it was fun. I like the changes to it as well. I like that, it wasn't Shredder, them going after Shredder all the time. What I'm tired of, though, is I'm tired of seeing their origin story. It's the same thing like, Batman and Superman's origin stories. We don't fucking need it anymore. Everyone knows how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came about. Stop with the origin stories already. Just go into it with them already established and work with it. This movie was okay. Like I said, it was fun. Um, but I don't think I'm glad I didn't pay money to go and see it in the theater. I'm really glad I didn't pay money to see it in the theater. I really didn't like the animation style. I don't like the jerky animation style that was going on, and that just really kind of turned me off. I got what they were going for. They were trying to go for more of a paper mache kind of style of animation, even though it's CGI. Um, it's got awful on my eyes. It really is. It's the same thing like Halo with the camera. Uh, there's a reason why Steadicam was invented, and your series is the exact reason why. Why it was invented for it is because I fucking just hate that shaky cam. It goes all over the place. CBM says, honestly, I do not care about commercials. It does not interrupt things too much. Yeah, exactly. I usually put on the mute, is what I do. And then, I'll scroll through my phone, deleting emails and whatnot. And then I'll see it's come back on. I put the mute off. That's pretty much it. That's the only thing I don't like is commercials, just obnoxious. But yeah. What? They're trying to say the Mandalorian is coming back on March 1st? I don't think that's right. That does not sound right. I don't know if this was... Oh, archived. That's why. I was like, what the fuck? I was looking at the wrong dates. That's what happened. Yeah. Anyway. That's pretty much all I got for you guys, really. Oh, there was I don't know if anyone knows who Ramona Fradon was. She actually just passed away. She's 97 years old, passed away. She's one of the first, actually, she was the first female comic book artists, and she drew things for Marvel. She drew things for DC. Awesome person, but she just passed away at 97 years old. So, great artist. She was actually one of the first, I think, one of the only female artists to actually draw an entire issue of Fantastic Four. She drew Wonder Woman. She drew Aquaman. She drew a lot of things, and great artist. But yeah, she passed away yesterday. Raymond says, isn't there a Mando movie coming? Yes. And yes, also RIP to Carl Weathers, who passed away in his sleep unexpectedly at the end of last year. The Lazunas Project on TNT. I don't know what the Lazunas Project is. What is that? Or the Lazarus Project? Is that what you're talking about? That was a series in 2022. Hmm. No, I've never seen that though, Joe. Yeah, I've never seen it. So yeah, I don't know. Trying to think what else is coming out. So, yeah, like I said, so I am still covering, of course, Bad Batch. That's what I'll be covering next week. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, which is coming out on the 25th. I'm not covering that. Walking Dead's all played out now at this point. It's become a zombie itself that I don't need to cover anymore. Um, Megamind Rules, which is a new Peacock series. You know, Megamind. Remember the movie Megamind? So they're doing two things. Peacock. So March 1st, they're going to release a movie, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. So they're going to have that, and then also on March 1st, they're going to do Megamind Rules. So depending on if they release it all at once or if they do it by episode, I might cover that depending on how it is. We'll see how that goes. Invincible Season 2 Part 2 is coming out March 14th. I'm definitely going to be covering that, like I said. X-Men 97 is March 20th on Disney Plus. I'll be covering that, obviously. The Three Body Problem is going to be on Netflix. It's going to be a series. Again, I think they're going to be dropping that all at once. So that's probably going to be an Is It Worth My Time? And then after that, it just kind of, we'll see how things go from there. Oh, Rebel Moon. That's right. Rebel Moon came out too during all that time. Oh my God. What a pile of shit that movie was. Um, yeah. How many fucking slow motion scenes can you have of someone jumping with an axe in their hand? Uh, it- the answer is four, by the way. Four of those scenes, the exact same scene. They're coming from different sides. That's all it is. Uh, what a pile of shit that movie was. And it's full of a bunch of actors who have made some seriously questionable uh, acting choices in their movies. So yeah, I hate to say this, but it is. And wow, what a piece of shit that movie was. But part two is supposed to be coming out in April. So there you go. Yeah. There's two different versions of the Three Body Problem coming out, Raymond. So this one from Netflix, and I think there's one from Prime that's coming out or something like that. There's two different versions that are coming out. Yeah. So Joe's talking about the Lazarus Project. Season 2 is coming out on TNT. Okay. Um, yeah, Sophia. Well, okay. Let's face this, Raymond. She is not the best actress in the world. She is a not a background actress either. She is maybe a supporting character actress. Not a lead character actress though. And again, there are some people that just aren't made to be lead characters. Anthony Mackie. Um, so yeah, there's just people that don't need to be lead characters. It should just be secondary supporting actors, and that happens. I mean, that happens in movies and TV series. So that's what she is, unfortunately, and because she's beautiful, they try and put her in the front, and make her lead actress, and it's just like, no, stop doing that. She's not even a character actress, Joe. She plays the same person all the time. I mean, I haven't seen any variation in the acting. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything varied in there. Yeah. But hey, Fraggle Rock's coming back. Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock is on March 29th on Apple TV Plus for those of you who have it. I'm not going to be watching that because, well, one, I don't have Apple TV Plus, nor am I going to subscribe to it. And two, I'm just too old for Fraggle Rock. Yeah, Tom Cruise is just, yeah, he's a horrible. I don't even use the term actor anymore. Excuse me. He stopped acting in the 90s. So, yeah. He kept putting out movies, but he stopped acting in the 90s. He's just trying to make money. More and more money. So kind of funny. I was putting away shit here and there because when I moved back in July, and I found this guy. There we go. Space Paranoids. For those of you who remember that little movie from the 80s called Tron, this was from when they were doing Tron 2. They had an event in San Francisco at the time. I went to it and they gave us that, and we also have little MCon badges, stuff like that. They had someone, if I remember correctly, skydive out by Justin Herman Plaza, which is downtown. And then, of course, Bruce Boxleitner was there. I can't remember her name. She passed away recently too, this year, last year, I should say. So she was there, and so yeah, and it was just kind of this weird kind of quasi event. Joe Greer says, I have binged For All Mankind. It's okay. Yeah, I kind of figured most of the Apple Plus series stuff is just okay. I've never heard anybody like going, oh my God, you really need to see it. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, eventually it'll come out. So yeah. I did not talk about Godzilla Legacy of Monsters. I've heard of it. I saw the trailer for it. And again, Kurt Russell's in it, and of course his son Wyatt Russell, who plays the younger version of himself. I'd like to see it, but again, I'm not going to bother with a Apple TV Plus membership or even do the trial or anything like that. It's just really not worth it to me. That Apple does not put their stuff out on other platforms. Just I'm like, okay, I'd rent it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay there to see it on their platform. Yeah, I know, Raymond, but I really don't do that either. I honestly don't have the time to search for that shit as it is. It's just I'm a plug and play kind of person. So yeah. I heard, Joe, that Foundation season 2 is a major improvement. They I guess they heard all the complaints about the first season. But it's kind of funny. So this thing up here, gotta go that way, is actually from the Haunted Mansion. It's a popcorn bowl. It's the Madame Leota. It lights up too. Yeah, I've been getting weird shit like that every now and then. I did not get the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. I don't know if you've seen the Dune 2 popcorn bucket, but yeah, Saturday Night Live did a skit on it, and it's the fucking most hilarious thing. It basically looks like it's a sandworm, but it looks like a giant gaping asshole is really what it looks like. And yeah, the way SNL made fun of it was, of course, that people are using it with lube. So make your own decisions on that one. Yeah, whoever looked at that and greenlit that fucking popcorn bucket, there was multiple people that did it too. Yeah, whatever you do, just look it up. Yeah, I really wanted that. I agree with you, Raymond. The Dungeons and Dragons 20-sided dice one, that was really fucking cool. I really wanted that one, but I was not about to pay scalpers like $150 for it or $300 for it. Yeah. No way, no how. Somebody started actually doing a 3D there's a 3D print program for that floating around someplace. So you can actually 3D print your own if you have a 3D printer. So if you're really interested in getting that, that's the way to go. David Goyer is stepping down as showrunner, probably for the best for season 3. Oh yeah, David Goyer just needs to be removed from anything genre. He's great if he goes to like CSI Miami or CSI Toronto or CSI, Poconos or one of the CSIs, something like that, or Grey's Anatomy if they're still doing that series or an offshoot of that. Um, any of those CBS shows, something like that, that's where David Goyer belongs. He doesn't belong doing any genre work whatsoever because he's just a fucking horrible genre writer. Also, considering that he says like "fuck the fans" is what has always been his mantra. He literally said that at some convention. Yeah, fuck him. David Goyer is just a piece of shit. He really is. No, Dennis, tell us how you really feel about him. Yeah, I'm sorry. He's just, yeah. CBS, ABC dramas are very much fun. I can't watch any of those shows, man. I really can't. Um, that's like, what was it? The series that was out called Traders or something like that on CBS. I thought it was a game show of kind of like, trying to find out who the murderer was kind of thing. I didn't realize that it was full of all these has-beens that had done like Survivor and shit like that, and that's all it was populated with. I found this out after I didn't see any of the episodes, but I found this out afterwards, and I'm like, good thing I didn't watch that piece of shit because, quite honestly, I don't need to see that. Blue Bloods made me want to leave society. Yeah, CBM. It's really that is the lowest of fucking TV programming is CBS and ABC stuff. It really is. NBC's got some of that shit too. Grey's Anatomy and what are the other? They have like what is it? 15 Grey's Anatomy shoot offs, that kind of stuff. Or is that ABC? I think it might be ABC. But I know ABC has or NBC has it as well. All the big three of them have it. Fox has it to some extent as well. That's why it's streaming. Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen Boy Kills World, the trailer for that, go and fucking watch it, man. I mean, I'll put it up on the on the Facebook page. I just haven't had a chance to as of yet. I saw it this morning and I was like, holy fuck, I really want to see that. And the voice that Bill Skarsgård uses for it is it's fucking hilarious. It really is. Anything non-genre you're getting into? Any books or comics? Um, I haven't read any books in a while, Raymond, other than technical shit that I need to do for work. Um, I'm still reading Heir to the Empire, the very first. So, if you want to talk about genre stuff, that I have it in my Kindle. I've got a lot of things I've started in my Kindle that I've never finished. Um, uh, The Poison Squad is one of them, which is a true story about kind of how the FDA came about. And if you think food is fucked up now, it was way fucked up around the Spanish American War. Uh, yeah, people were mixing sawdust into bread and selling it as bread. They were putting paint in milk, like paint in water, and selling it as milk. People were dying, like literally dying because of the shit that they were being sold as food. And yeah, this thing, the Poison Squad, is interesting. I mean, just a really, it was an interesting book. I'm about halfway through, but I've been honestly, I think I've been on that book for like over a year now at this point. But yeah, it's fucking horrifying some of the stuff that people did, even when they were told about it too, and people just um, and you see that nothing has changed. I mean, Congress is still as corrupt as ever. It always has been. Um, yeah, I mean, whiskey. They used to use fuck, what was it? Tar to make it in water, and then they'd add like rubbing alcohol and shit like that to make it whiskey or sell it as whiskey. I mean, there is some really fucking horrendous shit that people did back then and still do today as well. Yeah, so that's a really good non-genre book if you ever want to get scared into things. If you also want another non-genre book, The Radioactive Boy Scout, which is a true story about this kid in the 60s, I want to say, who wanted to build his own nuclear reactor, like a scale model of it. And so he started shaving off like radium off of, dials off of, the watches and all that kind of stuff initially. At one point, he ends up getting his hands on yellow cake uranium. So it's a true story. How one of his, the neighborhood he lived in became a Superfund site. Uh, yeah, so it's a whacked out fucking story. It's a short read too. It's like a novella, but it's a true story and a whacked out story. That's always a good one too. I did pick up. Hang on a sec. Tell you what. Let me go grab a book and I'll show it to you because I know exactly where it's at. Ah, if I can not strangle myself. Just a sec. So Steve Niles from 30 Days of Night. He has written for Batman or DC Comics off and on. He writes other things as well. He's done a lot of different things, and he's actually done Batman comics before. Like I've said, one of my favorites is called Batman Gotham County Line, which is a team up with Deadman. It's only a two. I want to say it's a 2-book graphic novel. It's a graphic novel. Really, probably my favorite Batman story. But this is the latest one called Batman Gotham After Midnight. And that's Steve Niles again. And it was released in hardback. I saw that he was talking about it on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. And so I bought it. I haven't read it as of yet, but it's sitting in my book of stuff. So yeah, there you go. That's one of them. If you want a graphic novel. I think that's a collection of the DC comics that he was doing, that he was working on that. Yeah, Steve Niles is always a good writer. He's got some really good stuff out there. Also, I highly recommend from him the Cal McDonald series. So Cal McDonald is and I've talked about this before. He's a guy who was getting ready to join the police academy And on that day, I think his mom, dad, and his sister died all at the same time, a horrific accident. As a result of that, he's able to see um, like the supernatural world, like ghouls and vampires, werewolves, all that kind of stuff. And he drops out of the academy. He becomes a private investigator, basically for these supernatural creatures, if you will. But he's also a fucking pillhead because he has to, manage with all this grief and stress. And yeah, saves Los Angeles quite a few times. No, no, not like Constantine. This is more, he deals, he's kind of reluctant in the way he does things. And Constantine is more someone who is a mage and deals with magic. Cal McDonald has no powers whatsoever. He's just an ordinary dude who self medicates and tries to not get himself killed most of the time. Yeah, and it's more of a detective story than anything else. So that's kind of how Steve Niles started things. He was trying to sell that as a movie script, wasn't able to. He wrote them up as novels. I've actually got the novels back there someplace, and the novels weren't selling either. So he ended up going into comic books, and the comic books sold really, really well. So that's where he went from there. And that's how 30 Days a Night came about, and so on and so forth. And also, Steve is just a nice guy. I mean, I met him at WonderCon years ago and talked to him for like a good fucking, I don't know, almost an hour, something like that. It was a good long time. Dylan Dog came out, I think, afterwards. This he had done. I want to say it's over 20 years now. Over 20 years ago. That I want to say it's 25 years now for that. Yeah, it probably does have a better chance of being a movie after being a comic. Exactly. Yeah, it is through Dark Horse. So Dark Horse was doing the comics, and I know Dark Horse is doing their own. They have their own deal with Netflix at the moment. So Dark Horse has been putting stuff out through Netflix. And the thing is, they're not overreaching themselves, which is nice, but at the same time, they're not getting their name out there either. So, yeah. Dark Horse Publications actually does a lot of really good stuff. Hey, you're welcome. I can't remember. He said exactly what it was this was about, and I'd have to put on my glasses here to actually read it. Yeah, here we go. So it says a dark ghoul named Midnight has appeared in Gotham City. Like Batman, he wants to bring order to the crime-ridden metropolis, but unlike the Dark Knight, Midnight believes terror should be instilled in every citizen to keep them in line. An eye for an eye is the law of the land in Midnight's world, and those who break it risk having their still beating hearts ripped from their chests. So there you go. That's pretty much what that's about. Gotham After Midnight. And it's pretty thick too, as you can see. It's a pretty sizable collection, which is probably what's preventing me from actually starting it. That and the dog. The dog doesn't like me reading. She really doesn't. If I start reading, she starts pawing at me, which is funny. But all right. She's doing good. Yeah, Pepper's doing well. She's asleep on the couch right now, doing her thing. So, with that said, I'm probably going to let you guys go. I've been on for about an hour and a half now. I think that's a good long time. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, or today in the chat, I should say. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. You know who you are up there. So now I got to go up here to do this. Look up there. There we go. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. I don't know which side's going to come out on this one or this side. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match them as best as possible to one of the vast videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, pop down below there and subscribe. Also go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. So, what else do I have going on? I'm going to be doing Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live action series version on Netflix that just came out this last weekend. I'm going to be doing that as an Is It Worth My Time tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I'll be covering The Bad Batch episode 4, if I remember correctly. Yes, episode 4. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, I don't know. You might forget what the hell you were doing. And yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So I forget where I was. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Raymond. Yes, it's been a busy year already. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and have a good rest of your day and a good rest of your weekend. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. See ya.